Okay, are Getty Images selling deepfake photos of Netanyahu? The photos in question were taken on March 22, 2026 in Dimona, Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu visited a place where Iranian rockets had caused damage the day before, or maybe 2 days before, I don't know. The photos were taken by Alexi Rosenfeld, and this is a screenshot of his website. And here is one of those images for sale by Getty Images for $375. And so my question is, are these actual real photos? Just a question. And here is a close-up. You can see credit Alexi Rosenfeld, Getty Images Europe, $375. So this is a legit Getty-backed image of a photograph. The whole Getty reputation, I think, is based on this photograph being real. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that Getty Images would sell fake images of Netanyahu. I mean, this isn't just any photograph. This is a large public figure during wartime, very controversial. To do anything that's fake by Getty, why? I mean, why would Israel want to put fake images through? And even if, let's just say for the sake of argument, that Alexi Rosenfeld monkeyed around a little bit just to make it a better image, even though in a sense the content is sort of what happened in a way. What does that mean about any other image that Israel or anybody wanted to get through to Getty Images to deep fake something for the state of Israel, to put an image through Getty, and everybody was like, yeah, well, it's got to be real because it's a Getty image. So, yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so we're going to be talking about these images, four especially. Here's the first one. Netanyahu is front of the damage. It's credited to Alexi J. Rosenfeld. Here's another one. Now, what's interesting is there's no J, just Alexi Rosenfeld. This is all from the same day. Basically the same set of photos. Here's another one, Alexi Rosenfeld. Alexi J. Rosenfeld. So that's a little bit bizarre. So I'm going to ask the question here, is this a fake photo? Is this a deep fake photo that Getty Images is selling? I don't know if it is a deep fake. I don't know who did it, whether it's Rosenfeld, Getty, an editor. I just don't know. And of course, I don't know if it is fake. But I'll go through why I think it's fake. So the first thing, excuse the dog in the background, is we're going to go through the footage of the site. So this is some AP footage, and this is on the left hand. When we're looking at Netanyahu in those images, this is the left to his left. And you can sort of see that green door to the right. Now this is shooting from the apartment buildings behind him to his right. And you see with those, here actually let me just stop this. Let me just go back a bit. So these people are generally where he's doing his, what he'll do his press conference is right here. So let's continue. And you'll notice, so this is the AP. So I think this guy got here. Let me find his name, by the way. So Ariel Shalit, I think. So Ariel Shalit probably got here very early in the morning. It may even be on the 21st, because you see there's a lot of garbage that has been cleaned up in the photos. Here it is. Well, maybe there's not a ton of garbage, but there's definitely different, because this, whatever this is, draped over this rock, this is new from one day to the other. So, well, no, there's a like a board, and we can see that board here. So it hasn't been cleaned up too much. So anyway, this is his footage, and so he took great footage. It really gives us a bearing. It also gives us an idea of just how much damage was done in this whole area. So when you look at the photos, you might just think it's that. Now, so if you look here, you can see there's a little air conditioner here. And if we look in this photo, the air conditioner has been cleaned up. It's been removed. and this thing has been put over it. So again, this was the day before, I'm pretty sure, or it was like first thing in the morning, and they cleaned the site up a lot. So this is to the left of Netanyahu. So this is over here on the left of where he's at. And again, a lot more damage than you'll see in the original video. Now, this is important because see this little hole? So I guess this is a little crater. He'll walk through it later, and I'll show you. And I feel DW, Deutsche Welle, is that it? Anyway, I feel like they shouldn't have shown the video the way they showed it. But anyway, this is a little hole here that's to the left of him. And you can see it's very cloudy. So yeah, I think this is just first thing in the morning. And you don't really see a lot of these orange vested guys later on. So I think there's a whole different set of security type people, and they're sent home later on. So we're going to keep going. So now this is I think from Reuters. Yeah, this is Reuters footage. So the problem I had with the Reuters footage is it didn't go far enough over here to the left. Oh, here it does. So here again, you can sort of see that hole that's going to be important, a little bit important later. There's the air conditioner. There's no drape. You can see Netanyahu's going to go past these tires. But again, I think some of this is cleaned up. So here's an interview. So this is probably later in the day, though the air conditioner is still there. So this is an interview, I believe, with the mayor. And then this is an interview later on with a woman, but this is close to when Netanyahu is interviewed because we can see the drape, fabric draped on the back wall there. So that's a difference. So this is later on, plus the sun matches her. So this is from Israeli's television, GPO, government public office, whatever it is, of Netanyahu answering this stuff. And let me just go back to, because we're going to be talking about this a lot. So he's being shot with one of these 3 cameras, I guess. Though again, I don't actually think it's showing, this isn't a correct photo, so we don't see the camera in the position that it was shot. We'll get into this later. But anyway, this is him being interviewed. Oh yeah, we can see the GPO watermark up there. So he's being interviewed. And this interview is very short, which will lead me into one of the theories. I first thought there's some AI in here, but now I think there's something, well, there's definitely AI in those photos, I think, but there's something else going on. So here, so you can see here is it's that little whatever. Though this might be a different site. He went to a different site, and they commingle the footage a little bit. So actually, I don't think this is no, this is definitely the right site because it has that door behind him. So we're still at the Dimona site, and they're just, pretending. But now he's on the right? So now, where we just saw him talking, he's over here on the left, and now he's on the right. And so now he just talks a bunch. And then they show him. So they're showing him walking from the right? So it's showing him walking from the right over here, coming from here, and then he gets in front of the cameras. Now you can see this security guy is going to make sure with another guy that's essentially 6 feet in front of Netanyahu and any cameraman, or really anybody for that matter. So they're just setting up. So we know they're just setting up because he doesn't have the 3 microphones yet. So they're coming over from the right. They're going to set up. You see this guy's quickly setting up his tripod. This will become important very much later on because here's this guy. Here he is. Here he is again here. Let me see, where's he? And here he is right here. But this part of the image is very suspect, which we'll get to. But anyway, you can see he's setting up. He doesn't have the mics yet from the other news agencies. And then, so this is what I don't see. DW, so they show that. This is correct. I think this is what happened. So he comes over from the right. They start to set up for the interview. But then they show him walking over this crater, which is on the left, right? It's over here. It's on the other side, right? So they show him coming from the right, and now they're showing him coming through this crater and over. So DW is showing a sequence of things that did not happen that I don't see could have happened that way. So either after the interview he did this little thing just to show him walking through a crater, or he did it beforehand. But he's not walking to the interview. So he's going through the crater, right? And now they show the interview. That's incorrect. This did not happen this way, because he came from the right on that. So DW, naughty, naughty. Anyway, the good thing is that the DW gives us footage from a different angle, which we know is correct, which we're going to want to compare with the GPO, footage of his interview. So anyway, I just wanted to give you the basic lay of the land of what the site looks like and where he's going. Okay, I'm now going to go into why I believe these images are doctored. So here he is. Supposedly Alexi is back with his camera here, taking this image of him. And the first thing I noticed when I looked at this image, and by the way, I made a lot of wrong conclusions, but anyway, so it's like, well, why is this guy, looking up into the air? And why isn't this guy looking like right here? He's not looking at Netanyahu. He's not looking at the viewfinder that you pull out, and then the eyepiece viewfinder is going up. So it just doesn't make sense. And then this guy has a yellow camera. I've never seen a yellow camera before, and I can't see him in any of that other video. And then there's a bunch of cameras over here, but it's like an AI fill-in garbage. I don't know what all this stuff is, but it doesn't really make any sense. And here's a pixel type LED light, which is actually the same light as over here. But a bigger problem, even with that, is I have one of these lights. And let me just move some stuff around here. This attachment to the light right here is not how it is on pixel lights that I know about. Maybe they have a model I just don't know about. But is usually it's down here. It's just not there. So I don't know what that is. So it looks to me like an AI artifact here. Then this guy, you see how the camera's angled down, yet you can see in it the faint outline of the building. That's behind here. This stuff. But it doesn't, it doesn't make sense that it would be on the phone like that. So I just don't. Let me get there the phone. So I just don't see that making sense. And then the other really big tell here to me, what I think is going on. So this is my theory. My theory is that these people were at this event. But what the photographer did, because this is the photographer's first problem, this guy here, essentially I count following him 5 policemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these 2 right here are looking at him from behind him. This guy is looking out to here. I don't think actually this woman would come up like that in front of him. I think he would push her away, or she would don't stay away from him. So you can see this guy. See, this guy is also out of place. This guy, and I'll show you in the other video, should be here, because he would be blocking Netanyahu. He would be keeping this six feet of difference. This guy would be in front of her. He'd be here. Same thing, blocking this space, keeping essentially a 6 foot or whatever they agree on space in front of him. But that wouldn't make a good photograph. So I think what Alexi did is he took these people and he used AI to move them around. And the reason that this guy, the cameraman, any videographer will tell you, you wouldn't use a camera like that. You wouldn't be looking right here. You wouldn't have the screen like this and screen up like this. I believe that he was in a rush setting up, so the photographer had a photograph of him setting up the camera and then later composited it into this scene. So, because it doesn't make sense. I mean, recording an interview, look, the camera's not even pointing at his face. It's pointing towards his, shoulder here. And this camera doesn't make sense. Or this camera, look, this camera is going over here. And what's all this? There's like a whole bunch of like AI artifacts going around here. And I think it's because, again, the photographer here, or Getty, somebody, is moving stuff around to make it look like a good photo. So let's go into some other things. And did I mention the yellow camera here? Anyway, there's no, I've never seen a yellow camera before. So here's another yellow camera, right? I've never seen a yellow camera. And look at his face. Like, it's not, like his forehead is right in front of the camera. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, does it make sense to you? So here, well, yeah, here he has his face up against the camera, but it's not against the viewfinder here. I mean, yeah, so even this is, I said this was natural. This isn't even unnatural. So I don't get that. And then if we go here, again, now the camera is crooked. It just doesn't make any sense. And here this guy's holding the microphone. That's my dog, I'm sorry. He's groaning in his sleep. He's just doesn't really seem to be paying attention. Everybody seems out of whack. Now, this guy, again, this is one of Netanyahu's bodyguards, essentially. He would not be over here. And look at his face. It's all like lit. It's like he's taken from different lighting and he's put here. Because the sun is coming from up here, his face would be completely dark. See, look at this guy's face right here, right? This side of the face is dark. His would be very dark too. This isn't natural lighting. Something was done here. And again, if you look at this guy, it looks like he's setting up the tripod. He's not using it. So, yeah, it doesn't make sense. And then let's go to this photo. Again, if we look at this guy, he's not really operating the camera. You won't put your finger there, really. There's a bar here that you would hold. This thing isn't positioned in the right way. He's looking down like this, and the viewfinder's like that. So that doesn't get it. It doesn't make sense. It only makes sense if you took a photo of this guy setting up at some other point and just put it there. And you notice another telltale sign of this is all this blur right here. Like, what is going on here? It just feels like something is hidden right here. And then here's the guy holding the microphones, and he doesn't really seem to be too into it. Here's that guard I was talking about. You see how he's in front of this guy? He's keeping distance from everybody. Where's the guard? Where's the guard right here? So right here, the guard supposedly is over here. No, he would be here. Something like that. He would not be over here. That's too far, I believe. Again, I don't know. This is just, I'm just trying to figure it out. And so here is this yellow camera. Now the yellow camera is over here. It doesn't make sense. We have this guy. Again, this guard makes sense, I guess, but I can't see his... Yeah, so he sort of makes sense. Two guys behind. You see this. Here's one guy looking forward behind one guy looking the other direction, guarding him. Here's the guard on his left side. You see how close he is to him. Where's the guard close to him? Right here. He's taking him out. He's taking him out of the frame so he can get this image. I mean, that's what I think. And let's yeah, so this is actually how I found the photograph on this somewhere, I forget where. And yeah, I looked at the pixel light. I'm like, that doesn't look right. That is weird. This guy doesn't look right. So it's funny that this was published, and look, it's Alexa J, not just Alexi, sorry. Yeah, it's just not, all these people are not really in their right places. Something isn't right here. Again, this guy should be over here. Either that or, Netanyahu has some pretty bad security. So here are Alexi's 6 photographs. And this one is obviously, so this one is obviously shot before Netanyahu got there because there aren't many people. So this is a little crater, right, that he'll walk through just for the cameras. It's nothing to do with the interview. He's just doing it as a shooting for the cameras. Benji, really. This is a close-up of the building with the damage. Here's one of those photos, which again, I believe is doctored. Again, look how far his bodyguard is over here. I just can't believe that, but what do I know? Again, he doesn't look right in all these busy cameras. I just think he put in more cameras that were there. There's another one. And another one. Again, both of them with the viewfinder not in the way the guy would have placed it, but might be that way if this is just a photo taken of him earlier on when he's just setting up the camera. I think that's what's going on. And here the same thing. And this is the other thing. So it's like you have 3 different shots and he hasn't moved, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like this shot, he's in the same weird, not really operating the camera. Same thing here. See, his hand here is the same as here. Same here, but he's not positioned well. So like he could have had plenty of time to adjust this properly, but he didn't. So it's really just something. Here's another interesting thing. Now, I noticed that many people have these white bands on. Here's a white band, here's a white band, here's a white band. So I assume like press or photographers or whatever had to wear these white bands. There's another one down here. So look at this guy. So this is a guy with the yellow cell phone, right? There's nobody else that has a yellowish cell phone with them, right? He's wearing a gray shirt, right? And he's doing the video, and I'm telling you, this video will not last long. And so here he's doing this video, and watch this. And we know this is accurate footage, right? This is from DW. DW shot this. And watch this. This hand comes in, white band, yellow phone, could be the only one with the yellow phone, and wears his gray shirt. Right? I mean, this is definitely this guy, but he doesn't have the gray shirt. So this gray shirt image with the phone, I think, is AI. It's made up. Right? Because this is an SLR, this other yellow camera. So there, and this is, we know, real, and look at him. And I just also want to point out on this one, like, you see this, the guard here, right here? You see how he's really pushing people back? He's really like, don't get too close here. You see him right here? It looks like he's far away, but he's not. Like he's in front of, you know what I'm saying? He's not over here. So his 2 guards are on either side. They're probably like 6 feet apart here. And then 2 feet in front of Netanyahu. And they're going to stay there. They're not going to move. You're not going to be like, hey, can you go stand over there? That ain't going to happen. You're just going to have to try and find a way to get your shot. So this is real. And then also, I'm just noticing this now too. Look at this. So there's 1 boom arm going into this shot, right? 1 boom arm. But there are 2 boom arms here in the photograph. How are there 2 boom arms here and there's only 1 here? And also, you see here, there's just a few people. But you look here, and there's all this weird AI garbage and all these cameras and crap here. But in here, there's nothing. It's a clear sight to him. This photograph does not match up whatsoever, to me, with what is here when he's being interviewed. And let me let's go back to his. So this is him in front of the. Now, one thing I did notice is I had said that, oh well, the guy behind, like nobody come close to this guy who's behind him, but a bunch of people do come close. But no, this is another sort of interesting thing. So there are a bunch of people behind him in front of the guard. You can't really see him very well. This guy right here, in front of him, looking on during the interview. But look at this. Here, there's only one woman right here. Whereas live, again, from the video footage we know is true, there are a whole bunch of people. Well, there's a woman with a white thing. Let's just see if we see her. No, I don't see a woman with a white thing here. Again, I think people are all pushed around. Well, here's the woman. I know her. So she's one behind him. And no, see, this guy would be here. I don't think it'd be a straight line like that to her. There's a guy in between. So it'd be this guy, one of the police. So yeah, I guess that could be the police. I guess this could be correct. Let's see if we see anything else here. By the way, we don't see this guy with the jacket and the glasses. I can't find him in these photographs. It doesn't mean he's not there. I just don't see him, though I feel he should be around here. Who's this guy? I mean, I guess it could be him over here. And look at this, is that arm I was telling you about? See, why is that? Why is this all weird? Like, have a box there. Like, why does his arm disappear and you can't see it, you know, on the other side of this gray tint? Because if we look at other photos, right? You see, this is definitely not the background. But if we look at other photos, let's look at the other photos. See? Behind his name, you can see behind it. You can't see here behind it. And you can't see here behind it. There's all this weird stuff that you can just see. Look, a little triangle and this eye. It's like, this is definitely not. Yeah, there's something that has been photoshopped, edited here. Because look here, again, you can see perfectly behind this little graphic of his name. So you can see it here well. You can see it here well. But in these two, it's been doctored. Something has been doctored. Okay, I hope you found this interesting. So, you know, I think for me, Israel's being accused of killing hundreds of journalists. And just a few weeks ago, they killed 3 journalists in a car in a backcountry road in Lebanon. And they said one of the journalists was Hamas. And people just sort of just like let it go. And Israel has had very severe censorship within Israel, has kicked out many news agencies. So to do a photo where it looks like every news agency in the world is there interviewing Netanyahu is propaganda. It's propaganda saying that Israel is not censoring the news. That's a very open society. That's what those images say. Now, if they're correct, you know, we'll just have to see. But if they're not correct, I don't think it's a joke. I mean, I don't think it's funny. I mean, I should say funny, but I think that, you know, Getty should take this seriously. We should all take this seriously. So anyway, we'll see what they come back with, and I'll put it in the description if they do. And till then, have a good one.